Good morning. Okay, I was going to have a sleep in this morning, but my son decided to call me because I have night shift tonight, so I thought I'd just have a bit of a sleep in, but that didn't happen. So I thought, well, okay, I'll do my morning blog because, as I said before, keeping it real. So you don't see me in makeup and you don't see me with my hair done and my teeth in, but that's okay because keeping it real is about being yourself. But today it's not talking about keeping it real. Today is letting it go. I've just woken up and I've had a really good night, good sleep, but I had a bit of a dream last night, and it reminded me about a nightmare I had when I was a child. And I think I said something about it yesterday on a video I did. But I had a nightmare when I was a child, and it was a continuous nightmare every single night. And I thought I might just share it with you because I had something similar last night, but it wasn't the same as what I had when I was a little girl. But anyway, years ago, I used to go to sleep at night, and people that read my books will understand this a little bit more, but I used to go to sleep at night and I used to dream that I'd be in a dark place with nothing around me, and I would start running because I would hear something behind me and I didn't know what it was. And as the dream went on, I managed to turn around at a certain stage and I saw what was behind me, and they were absolutely huge, gigantic letters of the alphabet. Now, this dream kept on going and going and going, and it became a nightmare because it kept on interrupting my sleep, because I would run, and I would run so hard, and I would exhaust myself, and I would wake up the next morning and I'd be exhausted because I was running so far and so hard in my dream. And in my dream, my nightmare, the letters of the alphabet were huge. They were chasing after me, and I was so afraid that they would get me. But as I could feel them coming down on me, behind me, or being so near to me, I would run into absolute blackness, and then all of a sudden it would just disappear. The dream would be stopping. The dream would finish. And I had this over and over and over and over again. But when I was a little girl, I used to have a bedwetting specialist because I had a problem with my bladder, which now makes me realise that it could have very well been the life that I was living at the time, of abuse and so forth. And I was with my bedwetting specialist one day, and she gave me a picture of an elephant divided up into squares, and I used to colour them in on a good night when I used to have a dry bed, and if it was a bad night, it was a blank elephant or blank square. And I used to colour the squares in, and it took a long time to get that elephant to be coloured in because it took a long time to learn or to train myself not to wet my bed. I was telling her one night about the dream I was having, and she decided that little did I know that I was actually in the presence all that time of being a dream analyst. Well, someone who could help me with analysing my dream. She asked me straight away, do I write? And I said, well, I do, but I've just written a few poems. I was about 10, I think I was about 10 years old, maybe 9 or something like that when I was going to this specialist. And it kept on going until I was about 14. And when she asked me if I write, and I told her I write a couple of poems and so forth, which I was writing all the time, I didn't feel that I could tell her She said to me, when I have my dream next or my nightmare next, to stop running and turn around. And that scared the crap out of me, being a little girl, because I could see these letters falling down and killing me, squashing me to death. They were huge. Anyway, that was all well and good. I took my elephant home and went to bed and went to sleep. That night I had the dream again, and something in me changed. And as I was running along, I'd had enough. And I stopped. And I turned around and I knew I could have been killed. I knew they could have crushed me. And I closed my eyes and I reached out and I let one of the letters touch me. And nothing happened. I opened my eyes again and all the letters, one by one, just dissipated into the air. And I felt at that time, and I couldn't explain it, but now I can, that I absorbed them. They dissipated into the air and I absorbed all the letters of the alphabet. So if you really consider what I've done ever since that time of being 7 years old with my first poem, if you really consider what I've actually done, I actually absorbed those letters and wrote more and never had the nightmare again. I honestly, truly believe that they were chasing me so I would take notice and use them. And that's how I got through my life, writing. I would lay on my bed. It's all in my book anyway, but I lay on my bed and I'd write. And I'd write so much and so fast that everything was in written words on whatever it was I could get my hands on. And I'm calling this one here Letting It Go. And the reason I'm saying letting it go is because when I write poetry or journal or blogging or anything for that matter, stories now, I've been writing short stories like they're just going out of style. And I truly believe with people that have read them, they reckon they're good. And I can smash a story out in 24 hours with 10 chapters. And they're not just garbled words. They are real stories. So I can honestly say to you that when I get those words out, because all my short stories will have aspects of true life events in them, but you will never be able to pick what those true life events are because of the way I've written my stories. So when I get those words out, I let it go. I let everything go. I don't carry it on in my mind. I do not make it about staying in my memory, because my memory, because of all the drugs I've taken in my life, which is only marijuana, weed, but it still has affected my memory, and I know that. Probably the alcoholism has too. So now all those thoughts and all those memories in my mind, once they're out on paper, written, they're actually typed now because I'm typing them on an iPad Pro, and it's my Bible, literally my Bible. And once those memories are out, once those stories are out, and there's like little aspects of truth in them, I'm letting it go. It goes away, and I read back afterwards and I think, my God, did I write that? That's just, and in my opinion as well, so I'm biased, but shit, that's good. So now I know what I'm meant to be doing. From that nightmare, it was chasing me to be an author. If I'd looked at it way back then, which I can't say I regret or anything like that, because I don't live with regrets. But if I looked at it way back then, I could have been a child author. I wrote a story years ago called Children's Whispers, and another story called The Big City. And both of them got destroyed in my relationships and probably ended up on a bonfire. But recently, I've rewritten Children's Whispers and I've rewritten The Big City. But I've also written Sheila. And I've also written The Boy in the Cupboard and The Land of Chocolate and Candy. And you might think of these as, whoa, she's weird. Like, she's really fucked up in the head. But no, I'm not. I'm an author. I'm a writer. And I know without a word of doubt in my mind, that's what my nightmare was about. Being an author, being a writer, bringing those words to paper. And I'm going to let you go because I've done my video this morning. But before I let you go, I'm just going to tell you that I did end up with a colourful elephant. I did end up kicking that fear of whatever it was that I was wetting my bed for, but I also found out I had a weak bladder. So it wasn't just the nightmare. And they say that like when you're sick or when you're physically sick, that it manifests things in your body. But what people need to realise is when you're actually problems in the mind as well, that manifests things in the body too. So if you've got a mind problem or if you have a mental illness, it'll manifest things through your body physically. So you might end up with cancer, or you might end up with sores all over your body, or something along those lines. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm not gonna take 5 things out of my gratitude box today like I have been, because I did that last night. But today I just wanted to say, once you get to a point where you need to do something to change your life, grab a journal. Grab a journal. You don't have to write poetry. Just grab a journal and write. And then after, when the words are on the page, let it go. Bex Blogs. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.